Hello, we are here and we're live. Linda is the first one here today. Hey, Linda. And there was a next runner up. Here comes my sissy, next runner up. And here comes Laverne. Y'all must be hungry today. Y'all in here today real early. Dee Dee, hey Dee Dee. Hey Jill, and Marlon, and Kim. You guys rolling on in here. And Joe, here comes Joe. May, I don't think we've met you, May. Are you a newbie here? Let us know who you are and where you're from, dear. I don't remember seeing your name, so let us know where you're coming in from. Hey, Nina.
Hello out there, everybody.
I'm glad you guys are with us today. Let's see. Let me take some of my stuff off the screen so we can make sure we get all your great comments up here. So Miss May, let us know who you are, darling, and where you're coming in from. Thank you. She said Linda said we look awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Welcome her in, you guys. Welcome May in, because I don't think we've seen her here before. Hey, Lori. I'm glad you guys are here with us today.
Frenchy.
Huh?
See, Frenchie May is Frenchy.
Oh, that's Frenchie.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Frenchie.
Yeah, I hadn't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, I'm glad you're with us tonight.
Yes, sir. Well, you all right?
Yeah, Frenchie. We know Frenchie.
Sure do.
She's one of our old friends from way back.
Well, I'm going to start this off right here with something.
Oh, you going to start tonight?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know you're playing around with this thing.
Oh, okay. Well, go right ahead.
The Lord's been talking to me about my experience that I had when I first met him on a Sunday morning. Boy, itching. On Sunday morning, when I showed you my heart, it was me showing me to our heart as one.
Mm-hmm.
What you were seeing and feeling was at the same time our sameness. So you would know that we were in the heart of each other. What you were feeling was what you and I was feeling and seeing all over the world at once.
This is God telling you this?
Yeah, this is the Lord showing me this.
What you saw, what you heard. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Once we are shown who we were inside of each other all over the world, we are each other's sameness. Mm-hmm. He said, I wanted to show you that all of us at the same time were in everyone's heart, and we were in everyone's feeling, hearing, hurts, all at the same time. This is going to go on 24/7 in life, as life, seeing the fullness of everything. I will be you and you will be me. You met me and I met you, myself. Every time you see and talk to each other, or we talk to each other all the time, there will be never a time when I am not in you and in them. We are each other's source. We cannot be anything else. We cannot be separated and apart from each other. And he said at the end, he said, this is a letter from me to me. We are each other's self. Too late to back out now. And in the final words, he said, I gave you the gift of seeing us all the time. You will always see us like this. The truth made out of each other or out of both of us. I will not block out the two of us anymore. I wanted I waited till now. What he's saying, I waited till now for you to get tired of being two and start seeing the truth as both of us as one.
Hmm. Okay.
And then some other things he said to me. This kind of walking as one is called the grace of seeing, the grace of hearing, feeling, wisdom, heart, grace of right decisions, grace of working or touching, grace of purpose, grace of attraction, grace of speaking, grace direction. Grace meaning no more trying to get God to give or bless you, show you what to do. All of this and more happens by seeing who you are as Christ Jesus as the real us, a real self. You will find out how to read your personal maps inside of each person and each other. And this is what he's saying to me to give me understanding of why he showed me his heart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, over in the Gospels, they were talking in the 14th chapter of John. Jesus said, "If ye had known me, you should have known my Father also. From henceforth ye know him and have seen him." And Philip saith unto him, Lord, show us the Father, and it sufficeth us. Jesus saith unto him, have I been so long time with you, and yet thou hast not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me have seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, show us the Father? So he's saying, I sound like him. I look like him. I walk like him. He is me, and I am him. If you see me, you see him.
Mm-hmm.
Will you say, well,
Mm-hmm.
the Lord is with me. I got the Holy Ghost. I'm saved. And when I leave this world, I'll go to be with Jesus. I heard somebody say on the phone today, my mother's going home to be with the Lord. Well, she ain't no more with him than we are here on earth. So he's telling me and explaining to me something that I never thought would ever happen. I wasn't expecting it, didn't ask for it, but it took place. Have I been so long with you and around you? He said to Philip, when I talk, I sound like the Father. When you follow me, you follow him.
Mm-hmm.
This union with Christ has been established from God's point of view and not our own. We'll eventually unravel this and see the rest of it, but we'll have to do it in union and in oneness.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the grace of no separation.
Yes. Yes.
Grace of no longer seeing two, but one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where he was teaching me how to see God in everybody I meet.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. To this morning, we were listening to Rupert Spira. And good afternoon, you guys. Those of you who came in while Pastor was talking, he was reading what he said that Jesus or God gave him, and a letter that he wrote down, everything that was said to him about oneness. And this morning we were watching Rupert Spira, and he was doing a guided meditation. And just before the meditation, he mentioned a poet by the name of Lala. And I looked it up and found that it was a female mystic. She was a female mystic, and she wrote a poem, and he just quoted just a little bit of that poem, and it goes like this. She said, I traveled a long way seeking God, but when I finally gave up and turned back, there he was within me. I'm going to say that one more time. I traveled a long way seeking God, looking for God. But when I finally gave up and turned back, there he was within me.
Mm.
You can't be the seeker forever.
No, you can't.
The,
I thought I would have to be.
the seeker, while it's very valuable, very commendable to be on the search for God, that's a very commendable thing. Every one of us, I think, whether we know it or not, we are searching for God. But at some point, you must come to the place where you found. And once God is found, there's no seeker any longer. There's no more seeking. And God cannot be found outside of yourself. And I think that's why we miss it, because we look for God outside of ourselves. And God is not found anywhere except within. Once you get a glimpse of God within, there is a perplexity that comes, because then you no longer can pray to a remote God to intervene.
Mm-hmm.
Your prayers become a conversation to someone that is not separate from you, but is you. And so it is almost like a game that you play, speaking to God that is now your higher self, or the best self that you can be.
Mm-hmm.
And you speak, talking in a conversation mode, knowing that the response is going to come from you and through your own lips.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Through your own lips, like you wrote that letter.
Mm-hmm.
But it was God giving you the letter.
Mm-hmm.
And so the remote God that we've been so accustomed to looking for is what keeps the seeker alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's what keeps the seeker alive.
One night I was coming home from work. I got off at 12, and I decided to go down through the neighborhood street where I live. And I don't usually do this. I usually just go straight down the expressway and make a left turn and be home. But this time I decided to go the main street down through Winston-Salem.
Mm-hmm.
When I got about halfway down, I made a turn to go on past the school ground, and that was a man. I remember it just as plain as day. There was a man laying on the side of the street, intoxicated. He couldn't walk. He was just laid out. And I knew when I saw him that if the policeman came by and saw him, they would put him in jail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I stopped on the side of the road, and I knew him. I had seen him. And I stopped, and he started talking to me. And he mumbling out words, and I picked him up, opened the door to my car, a Volkswagen. I picked him up, put him in the seat, turned around, and went back. And he told me where he lived. Mm. The next block, I pulled up, and there was a flight of stairs on outside the building. And I pulled him out and took him up the stairs. He got upstairs in the hall, and he wobbled and finally made it to his room. Mm. And I went in the door upstairs. There was a whole lot of people in that room just like him.
Wow.
That place was it was where all those guys stayed. They wasn't homeless, but that was their home. And they all worked together to keep that place. It was a long hall, but each one of them had rooms. And I happened to take him in a room where the biggest portion of those people were. They were people who lived for the day. And when they got through working in cement, or whatever they did, they would all go to this place. Mm-hmm. And that's where they lived.
They get them a drink, and then they go to that place. Yeah.
And I knew this guy because he had been to my uncle's house where I was raised up, and he had spent a lot of money with my uncle buying moonshine, but I knew he was also involved with my aunt's sister. He didn't. I don't think he knew who I was, but I knew him. And he said, Jesus said, if you've done it unto the least of them, you've done it unto me.
Mm-hmm.
There was another man standing out on the corner, right next to the stoplight of a train railroad track in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I came through there and I looked. I was in the second lane, and I looked at him. I said, I motioned him to come to the Jeep, to the truck. He did. I put $100 bill in his hand. I haven't seen him since, but he needed that. If you've done it unto them, you've done it unto me. The least of them, you've done it unto me. I've seen Jesus, and I picked him up. I saw Jesus, and I picked him up. Mm-hmm. I saw Jesus, and I see him. Mm-hmm. I've been seeing him ever since.
Mm-hmm. He don't always come with the beautiful robe and the way you expect him to be look.
That's right. That's right. And I've seen a lot of guys like that walking the street. I don't pick up everybody. One lady, my wife knew, was going down the street, and I was driving a 2-door Vega, and she said, "Stop," and asked me to take it.
Vegas are close to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say that first of all.
First time I ever seen a woman step through a door.
You had her passenger window open, and she stepped in it.
She didn't open the door again, and she stepped in through the window. She said, "Take me down." I said, "No, no."
That was a shock, wasn't
it? Yeah. I said, "What you doing?" I said, "You can't do that," but she did it. Stepped in there and sat down, and she like she stepping into a Corvette, like a hot rod. Just stepped in there, no doors, didn't disregard the window, no door latch or nothing. Just stepped right in there in the seat and sat down in the seat.
She's gonna get her a ride.
Oh yeah, I said, "What you doing?" Well, she did. I let her out right quick too. Hereafter, I will not talk much to you, for the prince of this world cometh. If you spend enough time focusing your attention on Jesus, the Christ, your true identity, mm-hmm. you will not have to go into these spiritual battles, these fits of fighting.
Yes. Mm.
When you see him, you see yourself. All of this and more will happen by seeing who Christ is as the real us and the real self. Words cannot explain, word cannot express. When you see him, you won't have any problem. Yes, I could have looked at this man and said to the devil or to the spirit of alcoholism, no. I refuse to see that. He could have pulled a gun out on me.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I remember there was one time when we're always trying to do something like that with people mm-hmm. that we don't not necessarily know, but you knew him. But anyway, we were at the grocery store, and there was this little old lady mm-hmm. at the she had just come out with her buggy, mm-hmm. and she looked as if she was having trouble getting, to a car and waiting for a car or whatever mm-hmm. for somebody to pick her up. And you just mentioned to her, does she need help? Mm-hmm. And I remember she pulled a knife out on us.
Yeah, she did.
She pulled a knife out on us. But that was because she was afraid and never had anybody mm-hmm. that showed love to her.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them like that.
Mm-hmm.
One time we was in a restaurant, what's called in North, that's the name of the street.
It doesn't have, you don't have to say the name of it.
We said to the restaurant manager, goodbye.
Oh yeah, it was Subway.
Subway.
Mm-hmm.
That's
we
it.
were in
Subway
and coming out.
And when we got outside, the voice of an angel said,
when we were leaving, he actually said through his mouth, "You guys come back.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good day." Mm-hmm. But the two of us heard, God bless you instead of what he
Yeah,
said.
he did.
It's like it was like an overlay of
Mhm.
what he was saying came through the words that just spoke through his words.
This is called the grace of destination, the grace of hearing, the grace of seeing,
Mhm. Yeah.
the grace of others in this world that know you, the grace of knowing and seeing your true identity. Nothing has to be done, nothing has to be worked out. It is automatically manifested in your presence as is necessary.
Linda says, I am the self in all selves.
That's right.
Yes, Linda, that is so true.
That's right.
That is so true. And the mind has a problem with that because the mind would like for everybody to act godly. But love cannot be expressed if everybody's lovable. There has to be something unlovable for love to be expressed.
We came into this world to wake up to our true identity. That's the grace of seeing who you are. And I didn't know that the reason why Jesus appeared to me in the room like he did was that he was showing me who he was on the inside, coming to the outside, turning around and speaking to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And every once in a while, even like now, another thing is that you will eventually be trained in discernment how to see him in all directions at once.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes.
Didn't think it was going to come out like
Yes.
that.
And I appreciate what you're saying, Judy. She says that we're quite unique. But in living this way we have seen. I remember you said that earlier in your conversion, you asked, you were looking for miracle ministry, and God asked you if you wanted a miracle life or you wanted a miracle ministry, and you chose a miracle life. Miracle ministry, of course, with all of the exploits and things that you were desiring, but the miracle life has brought to us all kinds of different types of scenarios. And when you give of yourself to people, that when you see Christ in people and you give of yourself to people in different ways of showing kindness and all of those kinds, being kind, being generous, those things, we've seen God do stuff for us that just is out of the ordinary, such as go sit down in a restaurant and somebody else will pay for our meal. And sometimes we don't even know who it is. It's just things like that where the average Christian would say that's favor, that's God's favor. It's more than God's favor. It's the reciprocation. It's the law of reciprocation, the law of reciprocals, where when you give, it comes back to you, and it comes back in different ways.
We are the dream lords. We are the dream overseers. We are the dream overseeing the Christ consciousness. They know that coming out like that. We are the Christ consciousness overseeing the body of Christ or the body of each other. And Jesus is constantly appearing to us in different forms.
Yes.
As the overseer of all of us at once.
Now I need to say something because I know Judy is saying the most beautiful thing about us, but I need to say this. Love, when you're expressing love, it doesn't always feel like affection. It's not always a feeling that goes with it. And there are times when you don't feel anything, but you still express the love. And I think a lot of people expect to feel ooey gooey for this person or for that other person. and they move from that. And then a lot of people, and especially in Christian circles, I've heard this: they won't do something for someone else unless they hear God speak to them, say, "Do this." But you should have the expression, the desire to express the love without having a voice spoken to you to tell you to do it.
It's like going to the grocery store and looking for whatever you went there to find. You find it, you either take it or leave it. But now I can see the footprints of the Lord walking through us.
Yes.
His hearing through the ears, seeing through the eyes. And the stepping up and down of downstairs, the driving of the car. You name it, and he's in it.
That's right. That's right.
You don't have to name it, and he'll still be in it.
He's in it. He's always in it.
You will not ever, once you see him, you will never have to look for him again.
That's what I meant when I said the seeker dies once you see him. That seeker just is dissipated.
That it shocked me when he said, while he appeared to me, holographic projection of himself. I'm standing there looking and in the mirror, and I see him reflect back to me. The path that we on is a pathless path. It is a continuing path that brings us into the continuous vision, manifested presence of I amness.
The one incident that I had, this has been years ago, where I was sitting in my quiet time, and I had a little footstool that you made me, and I propped my feet up on it while I was sitting there, and I had on this nightgown. We used to call it Casper Ghost nightgown, and I'm sitting there doing my meditation and prayer, whatever, and I had the epiphany. I looked down at my own feet and realized my feet were his feet. And they were not just Antoinette's feet. And there are instances where you and I have had glimpses of him actually being us. And that doesn't make you arrogant. If anything, it makes you very, very humble, because you realize who it is, instead of trying to be a me that's living it out and trying to be that. You're not trying to be that. You're not patting yourself on the back because you've achieved something. This is something that just is. You just are this. You may not see it like we saw it. You may not have the epiphany, but you still are that. You are that.
You are the voice of God in every man. You are the voice of God in every man in the earth. When God is seated, you are also seated. When God stand up, you'll stand.
Yes.
You'll have an awareness of this, as it is needed for you to function in a godly world of awareness of pure consciousness. You can say, I am clean enough. You are only holy and clean enough as your true self. Your true self cannot be tainted or stained, contaminated by the physical things around you. Sameness, hereness, oneness, I amness, and you may be called different things by name. But when your true name is called, the roll call comes up, you will recognize who is receiving the answer.
Now, I just felt like somebody that's listening to us just said, I cannot be him because I have too many shortcomings. I've got too many flaws. Not realizing that those shortcomings and flaws are actually the colors that God flows through
Mm-hmm.
and uses them and uses your person to maneuver and orchestrate for everyone else to fall in line to their awakening.
You are the empathic form of God.
I like that.
You are the empathic seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting.
Mm-hmm.
You eat, God taste. You see, God hear. It is the essence of all of us speaking. It is the I am of all and everyone speaking at once. God continually communicates. Spirituality speaking is the real part of this kind of speaking. You are a kind of speaking that does not have to search for what to speak. You are God's spoke.
As a matter of fact, for me, I've come into a place, and I know you've been at this place for a while, where you shoot from the hip, pretty much. I mean, we've said this before, we don't study for a sermon, but we're often studying, but not for any particular purpose, just studying. And we do better when we don't try to fit in a box. The freedom of speaking from that you already are, speaking as consciousness, from consciousness, about consciousness.
We are the divine essence of eternity, speaking at once. There is no beginning or end to us. We have always been. Okay. We have always been the fermented functions of God.
The fermented functions.
We have always been God's intoxication. We have always been God's verbalization. We have always been God's definition of what it is like to be natural in a form that can be in any situation and never lose 1 ounce of its ability of seeing God 24/7. That's a long one.
That was a long one, yes, it was, but it was good.
The unmoving movie of God. We are the unmoving movings of God.
Well, we're the God drama playing out.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
I am mean that there's no beginning or end to us. It means we are beyond human concept, universal awareness. We are moved within and without by moving in an immortal, unchanging substance that is totality.
This is what I call the single eye doctrine.
Yep.
It's a single eye doctrine because it won't allow you to see 2 gods, a good one and a bad one, or a good one and an evil one. It won't allow you to focus on God outside yourself, but you will see God only within your own soul. So there's this merging of oneness. That's the single eye doctrine.
You will come to the place of awareness where you'll not be able to divulge who you are as a Christ in the midst of the storm.
These things that you're saying need to be reflected upon and just sit back and contemplate it. Not so much to try to remember, but to actually contemplate what's being said until there is an actual experience of it.
And you'll see this. You're going to see more of it as you go. God is talking without a voice. We are the mother and father awareness.
Yes. Judy says the all of God.
That's right.
And Phyllis says we've always been.
Always been.
Always been. And you've always been free, Phyllis. And we're, like I've said before, we don't come to tell you or to set you free, but to tell you that you're already free.
Yep. You are the breath of God, breathing in and out of these bodies, taking vacations in between every breath to manifest the second coming of Jesus.
So the only reason you don't feel free is because you're lost in the predictions and the memories of your mind. And as long as you're lost in the mind, you can't experience that freedom.
You are no longer a God chaser. You're no longer going to church to find him. You're no longer reading your Bible just to hear him. You're the ears, the mouth, the nose, and the breathing. You're the oxygenation of God, breathing in this body, leaving and inhaling and exhaling, bringing him back into manifestation.
Yes.
It looks like you're losing him, but you can't. In darkness, he finds you the best. In uninvited company, he accompanies you in his chest.
I wrote this: to see God in the situation who is disrupting my life. See God in the situation that's disrupting your life. See God in the disease. See God in the person that's lying in the gutter. See God in the temple that you are.
Moving God is over. God moved in and said it is over. For you seeing yourself. It's over. It will never be you and God.
Yeah, and it really has never been.
That's right.
You and God.
There's only been one.
And I said this, I think it was Sunday that I said it, and it came back to me. Love is when you love someone, the first thing you want to do is get close to them as possible, and as often as possible. So I'm beginning to understand that the desire to be one with, that's what love is. That desire to be one with is what God is. And so God is desiring to be one with every last one of us in experience.
We are the channels of God, imported and exported into this dimension. We are the ones that make God frame. We are the ones that make God's frame become flesh.
Oh, I got that. I got that.
We are the ones that make God's body breathable, seeable, expressionable, likable, unlikable, but yet really recognized by the kings and priests under the glory of this magistrate and the governor of this body in the laws of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus.
Yeah, your sentences are getting longer and longer. Judy said, in this moment, there is nothing lacking. There is only God. And then Linda said this: for me, a huge freedom came when I understood I am not the crazy thoughts of the finite mind. I am that witnesses them. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I don't know how many times we told people that over the months that we've been into
but
this.
when they see it for themselves, then nobody else has to say again.
Never have to look for him. I finally found out how to go to the well of awareness and let the rope down with the bucket on the end and catch a pail of water. Jack and Jill went up the hill.
Funny. You made me think of something funny. Remember the fairy tale says, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair.
Yeah.
He said, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. She let her hair down. He started to climb up and it fell, it broke. He said, damn hair weave.
Oh, Lord. I should have known that was coming.
Oh.
Well, we can put an edge on that, can't we?
Yeah, we can. We
Okay. Death does not take to us as strangers.
Mm-hmm.
It does not take to us that we are lost. Death does not mess with us in the area of losing something.
Mm-hmm.
Death knows that it has to stand to us to the side and recognize that it cannot disperse us beyond
Mm-hmm.
the capabilities
Mm-hmm.
of coming back at it to reveal that we are not defeated at all. We can never be defeated. We can never be defeated.
So now affirmations become statements of truth
Mm-hmm.
rather than vehicles to try to, or formulas to try to change a situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are using affirmations, positive affirmations, to try to change their lives, to
Mm-hmm.
change what's happening. But when an affirmation is true, it
Mm-hmm.
speaks what is true. It doesn't try to make anything happen.
No.
It's just making a statement of fact, and it's a declaration more than it is something to try to, a formula.
You are the natural herb of God.
The natural herb.
You are the natural food of God. You are the Alpha and Omega recipe. You are the ones that stands in God's kitchen, serving God a holy meal that can only be served by those who have never been separated from Him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are the ones that sat at the table of the 12 and found out who you were at the other end of the table. How to get God to move? You don't have to anymore. It's over.
So now, having given God your heart, you ready to give Him your mind?
Yeah.
Give Him your mind.
We are co-creators, operators, investigators, manifestations of the sons and daughters of God in this generation.
Mm-hmm.
From this moment on, you shall hear the sons and daughters of God speak through the unction of oneness. Yes. The truth of God has always been you and will always be you. There is no need of you trying to get God on the inside because He's working to the outside.
Well, there's no need to even try to get God's attention. And I think that was liberating for me when I realized I don't have to get God's attention because there is never a time when God is not paying attention.
That's right.
Because God is living this life through and by me. So I had to settle that inside myself, especially when it didn't go according to the way I wanted it to go.
Cold.
And then I had to realize when it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, that something was being said to me by God that I wasn't getting, and I had to stop and slow down and get it.
You are allowed to let things happen by determining mind and wisdom of the Spirit.
Yes. Hello, Oliver.
You are the overseers of the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ.
Yes.
And to make the voice of God happen, you are the voice of God taking place in every event of the universe. That's pretty good. I like that one too.
You're speaking a lot of profound statements tonight.
I feel that tonight. I just tell
the
you
mystics in the house.
The essence of self is me, and the me that is showing this to me is love of the truth. Tell yourself the truth about who you are.
Yes. And
from that moment on, you'll walk in a consciousness of God being so effervescent. The effervescence of God will spread all through your being, and the fragrance and the flavor and the smell of eternity. You will finally understand what it is like to walk in the flowers of God and flourish and come out on the other side smelling like a rose. Mm-mm. How sweet it is. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Wow.
You are also the popular. You are the most popular subject in heaven right now. You and God are carrying on a conversation with Him on this telecast right now, radio, airplane. You are actually
radio and airplane.
Airplane. Anybody that's got their YouTube on or their Facebook on can hear us in the air. Silence yourself and let the unconsciousness introduce to you the consciousness of Christ. Wow. Okay. He'll allow yourself to dine with the master of ceremony. Dine with Christ. Set up a deliberate event in your life where Jesus Christ can appear to you 24/7.
Now, how can they practically do that?
The practically way of doing that is not reading, praying, seeking, and knocking, but coming into full awareness, accepting Christ as yourself. Your full manifested identity.
Yeah, as yourself, yes.
That will automatically crucify everything that is not Him.
Yes.
It's a choice. It's a sin, but yet it's
an embracing.
It's embracing.
First.
It's not work. It's not sweat.
At first, it's just an embracing, even though you haven't really experienced it, but you embrace the fact that this is truth. And then as time goes on, it begins to unfold to you who you are and what's happening, what has already taken place. Because there has not, you have not been changed, you have been exchanged.
You are oxygenated by the lungs of God. He's breathing you in and breathing you out. You are actually the chemical makeup of the Holy Ghost.
And I want to say this because the thing that's helped me most is when I hear this kind of language, the language of consciousness and oneness. When I hear this, I take it in and I sit with it. I find a place to sit still and contemplate what I've heard, what I've read, those things that I know resonate with me, even though my mind struggles with it because my mind cannot accept this about myself. And so I sit with it and actually marinate in the words. I marinate in it, and it goes deeper, and that's called. And Keely said, "Seek inward," and that's it's going inward, interiorizing your mind, making your mind go in instead of going out all the time, making the mind turn inward, cause the mind to turn inward. One of the ways to make your mind turn inward is don't speak for the body. If the body's cold, don't say, "Ooh, I'm cold," or "Ooh, it's so hot. It's so hot today." Don't speak for the body. Don't speak for the things that are happening in the senses. That's one way to interiorize the mind. And so when the mind goes interior and you contemplate these truths, that's when it begins to unfold, and you're the seer instead of the seeker. The seer is born.
Now you are beginning to understand God's address. Dial His number. Call Him up. Don't tell Him what you want. Tell Him what you found out. Let Him know that. And you know what? You're doing this right there in your shoes.
And you can pray a very simple prayer, can't you, hon? You can say, "Lord, I want you to reveal yourself to me."
You know,
and that simple prayer will start a whole series of events.
I've heard people say, come out in the name of Jesus. How would you like to say, Lord, come out of me
And show
and
yourself.
show
Show
yourself
yourself.
to my mind,
And that's the same thing as
body,
revealing.
and emotions.
Yes.
That's right.
Because to reveal means it's already there.
Now let's walk out. Let's walk outside and look at ourselves. Let's walk outside and turn around and have a conversation with God.
Mm-hmm.
God is now in a business of operating his franchise from this position, manifesting himself as the exact way, the truth, and the life of his real self living in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now we're home.
Yes.
Let's go out for it. Let's walk in it.
Yes.
There's somebody out there now, you are receiving information in mail about an offer that was made. Somebody out there is getting ready to see a manifestation of something good coming in the mailbox.
Yes.
Somebody's out there right now waiting for an answer about a job. The door just opened for you.
Expect it, because God, the universe, source energy, however you want to say it, is ready to bring the good to you.
That's right. Spirit to spirit, mind to mind, heart to heart, breath to breath. You are now ready to see Jesus Christ manifested in the flesh.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Manifested in your flesh.
That's right.
Yes, yes.
You guys have been really faithful with us, and we're asking that you continue to remain in that faithfulness. It is God being faithful to himself.
Mm-hmm.
The next person you hear talking out of your mouth, it'll be God. Pay attention to it, because he is letting you know that he's ready to communicate on a mouth-to-mouth, ear-to-ear basis, and that you'll never miss him ever again.
That's right.
Okay? Thank you guys for tuning in to us today.
Yes. You guys have been a little quiet, but that's good.
Mm-hmm.
It means you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
And we thank you for tuning in to us. Of course, we'll be back again on Sunday
morning at
10.
That's right.
And we'll be here live and in color.
You are actually ready to hear the meat, the substance of God that was hoped for is now made seen and manifested. And the next thing you do, it'll be his hand working in you.
Yes, it will. You want to rhyme tonight, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You want to rhyme.
I feel it. Okay.
You're in the mystical mode, Well, you guys, we're going to tune out here, and we thank you for tuning in to us tonight. We're going to take off and go. I'm going to walk baby girl before it gets dark. And you got anything else you want to say?
We're thanking you guys for the support that you've given us over the months and the weeks. Since we're not operating in brick and mortar, we're now in the telecast and what do you call it?
Virtual.
Okay. We're virtually.
Oh, hey, Pastor Norman, we didn't know you were there.
Yeah. And we thank you, Brother Norman, for standing with us. We love to hear you guys sending us something that will help keep us going financially.
Yes.
We thank you for the moment, every second of your breath and life, for letting us see your name come up on the screen. Mm-hmm. And I carry you all into my prayer closet 24/7. As often as I think of you, it is God reminding me of who we are as a team.
Now, if you don't mind, I want you to do this for me. I want you to like and share.
Mm-hmm.
Please do that. Like and share, and hit the like button and share us. And we thank you for that. And Miss Pearl, hi, sweetheart. You must be on YouTube. I see you there. Yeah.
Okay.
We love you too.
How strong is God? As strong as you are, and as wonderful as you are, and gracious. Gratitude increase, and the favor of God be strong in all of your life. We'll see you the next time, live and in color.
Yeah.
The same station, same channel.
Yeah, Linda says you're my spiritual family, and I love you. We
Thank
love you
you
too,
so much.
Linda.
Thank
And
you.
we are spiritual family. I call you guys Lively Stones.
Yes, Lively
And
Stone.
if you don't know, we got a group page called Lively Stones. So go on the Facebook page, Cornerstone Life Center, and join the group.
Well, until then,
happy trails
to
to
you
you
until we meet again. Happy trails to you.
Keep
Smiling
smiling
on
until
to then.
then.
The horse is riding. Ride the horse. Don't let the horse ride you. Okay?
All right, you guys.
Keep your nose clean and your britches on. We'll see you next time.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys, we love you. We love you.